To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
What is it about Disney that makes us happy? Is it the magical whistle as your ticket is scanned at the main gate? Is it the seafaring smell of pirate water? Or is it charting a course to a land where you may never grow up? Here we go! Whether it's singing a familiar song, watching a movie, or riding your favorite attraction for the 100th time, Disney undeniably has a way to warm our hearts, believe in magic, and bring joy into our lives. This is Main Gate Magic, a podcast where we break down and discuss the infectious happiness, delight, and thrill of all things Disney. Good evening, fans of Main Gate Magic. Welcome back to another wonderful, fun-filled episode of our fun little happy place here. I'm Jason Braden. I have my co-host Thomas with me. Thomas, how you doing today? It's good to see you.
Doing good. Dressed in blue. Tried to be as close as possible to the theme of tonight.
Yes, very well. And I see you've got a fun little character in there behind you as well.
Yes.
Yeah, who's that behind you there? Some little wisecracker?
Wisecracker, yeah.
Well, if you guys haven't noticed, there's kind of like a running theme of tonight's show with Thomas's background, with our little background behind the other gentleman taking center stage. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming to the stage live on Main Gate Magic, Mr. Sam Kwasman, the voice of Donald Duck. Sam, welcome to the show. Round of applause, everybody. Thank you so much for taking some time out today to just chit-chat with us and tell us a little bit more about who you are and how you got to voice this fantastic cartoon character.
You wouldn't believe it if I told you, but I'll tell you.
Please do.
I was in a show. I was 19 and I auditioned as a dancer for a show called Disney on Parade, which you see today as Disney on Ice. So what they skated, we ran. We called ourselves Holiday on Wood, and we played all these. Yeah, we played all these arenas.
Please continue.
Yeah, around the country. And we were in rehearsal in Kansas City, which, by the way, the Disney family came out to see us in Kansas City. And my Anna White, who was the Academy Award-winning choreographer of Oliver, she also did Music Man, Bye Bye Birdie. And so she was choreographing this show and hired me as a dancer. And we were on a break because she didn't like the choreography. So one of my friends sat down and played the piano, did a bunch of singing impressions. And, well, I can do that. So I sat down, did a bunch of cartoon voices, played the piano, and one of them was Donald Duck. And 10 minutes later, they came over to me and said, you know, you're the voice of Donald Duck for the show. And within 10 minutes, they came over to me, and you do it 10 to 14 shows a week, and you do it live for every show. Every show. I mean, it was grueling. I mean, one dance number was 20 minutes long. So, I mean, it was a 2.5-hour show. And by the way, Patrick Swayze was in it.
Oh, wow.
Yes. We were in our first, we were in our first dance company together. He was Prince Charming. And of course, I was the lead alligator in Fantasia. Go figure.
Yeah, he went way before his time. I really wish I could have seen what he would have done, like with his a full lifetime of his career. That would have been amazing to see that.
He was a wonderful man, and he could do Donald Duck, and he could do it in Spanish.
Shut up, really?
See what people don't know.
I know. Yeah. Okay, well, we were talking a little bit about that before the show started, about doing character voices in other languages, and I actually talked about this on one of my other shows as well. And you said that you actually can do Donald in one other language. What is that?
French.
You speak French fluently, or at least a little bit, right?
I was taking French lessons. I was getting really good. And then there was an earthquake in Istanbul, and I lost my teacher for a while here. So I'm waiting for her to come back.
Oh, no. Wait, lost as in literally like they died from it?
No, they didn't die. It was 6.2. She was displaced. She's in a tent and then a gymnasium. I don't know. So I'm very worried about her, but I'm sure she's okay. I just haven't heard from her 4 weeks or so.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. So this is Donald Duck in French.
Wow, that
You have
is
no idea.
incredible. Round of applause, everybody, for Donald Duck in French. Yes, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. Nobody knows anything that I said right now.
Well, okay. So have you done that for anybody else though, or is this the first time that you've actually done it publicly?
Well, in my comedy act, I was starting to do cartoon voices in different languages, and I think the hardest one was Hebrew, as Daffy Duck. Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. How do you do it in Hebrew? I have no idea.
I know, I don't know. I need like one of those sound effects that goes wah wah wah. Well, that was a
Yeah.
great introduction. I'm going to actually switch over to our audience because we do have a few people watching and saying hello today. So it wouldn't be a show without our participation from our wonderful fans. We've got Patricia in the house. She says, hi, everyone. Hello, Patricia. It's good to see you.
Hello, Patricia. How are you?
Oh, wow. Personal greetings from Donald himself. Now, a gentleman that you are familiar with, Mr. Jerry Cornell, who did a documentary on Donald Duck, and I believe you did an interview for that too, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Hi, Jerry.
Yeah, guess what? I narrated it.
Oh, that's right. So, yeah. Funny. Small world, isn't it?
It is a
It's
very small world.
world.
Yeah. Jerry, for those who are just listening, Jerry says, hello, y'all. Hello, Sam. Love your work. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
What is that? Harry, oh boy.
Oh. Our friend Shamim Dana is on the in the room today. He says, hey, Sam.
Shame. How are ya?
Have you met
he's
Shamim before?
great. Yes, he's wonderful.
The autograph king.
Yes, the autograph king. I've hung out with him before for dinner and stuff. He's just the greatest.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He's going to be on our show at some point too. We actually promoted his Autograph King documentary on our last episode, so that was a lot of fun, and we got to see a little bit more about what's to expect. It's a great looking show, and he also says, of course, hi Jason and hi Thomas. So he makes sure to include everybody in the house, and I appreciate that, Shamim.
Thank you, Shane.
My father, Mr. Odie Braden, is in the house. He says, managed to get on. Hi guys. Hey Dad, good to see you.
Hi Dad.
And it's funny because I know he's out. That's why he says managed to get on, because he has to find a signal because he's out camping somewhere. So he must have found like a cell tower nearby where he was able to latch on and watch the show. So glad you made it, Dad. I'm glad you got to see this one. Signs of amusement. I think this is my good buddy Jason, our new friend Jason, that we spent some time with at Disneyland very recently. Thomas got to say hi to Jason in Signs of Amusement as well. Jason. He says, no matter how hard I try, I can never even get close to doing Donald's voice. Can you give us a quick lesson?
Oh, give away my profession? Sure. Why not?
The secrets of the trade?
Secrets of the trade. Well, it's pretty simple. I actually talked to Ducky Nash when I did What's My Line for Disney on Parade, which, by the way, here's the program. This was me. This was in 1970, 72. And it was overseen by from Disney Studios. What's his name? Ward Kimball.
Okay.
And Ward was a genius. And here's another one from 73. How's that?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Those actually look like they're in pretty good shape from 1973. That's like only 2 years after I was born.
Well, I did this voice from 1970 to 1976 for Disney on Parade. Then I went over to the studio and started doing it. So here's how you do Donald Duck. I can't do it on this side, but I can do it on this side. So what you do is you blow air between your gum and your cheek. And then you make words, you squeeze a certain way. But the other side, I can't do it.
That's about how we sound when we do it, probably.
Sounds like my back end. So anyway, we won't go there.
Do that trick. Yeah, do that trick. That's funny because I can do it like a, and that's out of my right side. I can't do it out of my left.
I do it out of my left. I can't do it out of my right.
I'm the complete opposite. What about you, Thomas? Give it a shot. Just make a duck noise. No, you just air.
It's hard.
Well, people will come up to me and do their Donald Duck, And one guy was so bad, I thought to myself, oh, which end did that come out of?
Oh my God.
What can I tell you? And I've been spit on so much, I'm immune to everything. So
I remember trying to do it in middle school, and a lot of us boys were trying to one up each other with the Donald Duck voices.
It is not an easy voice to replicate, and I think whenever I used to try to do it when I was younger, I could do it a little bit when I was younger, but I sounded like
Yeah.
Donald Duck with like emphysema or something like that. It was horrible.
well, that could be a good impression.
It might be able to, yeah. I mean, hey, Disney, if you're listening, you ever need Donald Duck with emphysema, I'm your guy. Yeah.
That'd be hard to do.
Jerry says, love your interview that you did for the documentary, and we'll send you some just as soon as all the graduation celebration stops. Oh yeah, that is right. It's June.
Oh, that's right.
He's got a big family, so he says he's traveling to several ceremonies. Yeah.
Wow.
It
Well,
is that time of year.
congratulations. Yeah. Wow.
Thomas, you're in school right now. Are you graduating with anything, or are you just ending a year?
Yeah, so I technically was allowed to walk in my graduation ceremony last year, but I'm officially graduating this year because I was like behind one class. So
congratulations then. When is the date?
Thank you. June 14th, I believe.
Wow, right around the corner. We're only like 2 weeks away from that.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Odie says, you quack me up. And he says he's located right now in the city of Rocks in New Mexico. And that is definitely a place for my dad. If anybody knows Odie Braden, they know he's a rock hound. And he is he's all about like, oh, I have room for one more rock in my bag. And I think that's what I got him for his birthday last year was another rock bag so he could have it for one of his trips.
That's so funny.
Does he also like rock and roll? Like play on words? Or
I mean, my father, yeah, of course. He's like one of the kings of dad jokes. But I mean, what dad isn't that, has ever said a dad joke? So
yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah. So you're familiar. You have kids. So tell me about your family and like where you came from, how you grew up. I mean, are you still married? Do you like? I'm sure the kids are all grown and out of the house at this point. But fill us in.
Yeah, I have 2 kids that I know of, and my daughter.
How many does Donald have?
Geez, he has 3 nephews. That's about it, right?
Right, exactly.
And well, my daughter works for the Girl Scouts, and she's a big director. And my son is a computer genius and fixes computers. He's into all that stuff. So, and they're older. One's 39, one's 37. My son's 39, so they're doing pretty well. Yeah,
and then pretty close together there. Good for you.
Yeah. The closer
like,
the
bam,
better.
Bam. Like just got it out of the way. Mine are 3 years apart, so I was kind of the same way. Yeah.
Good job.
I know.
It works. Oh, I can't say.
Can you tell us about your lovely wife?
Unfortunately, she passed many years ago. So
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
I am so sorry. But I'm hoping that you guys had many happy years.
Oh yeah, we were together for 32 years. We had a wonderful life.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. I'm glad that you have those memories to fall back on. All right, so we got one more person that's in the audience and says, "Hey guys, sounds like a fun episode." LOL. That's my buddy Expedition Steve. He's part of the same podcast as the Signs of Amusement. So good to see you tonight, Steve. Happy to have you in here.
Nice to
We're going to start off with a little bit of trivia. I do have a few questions lined up for tonight, folks. We're going to kind of pepper them in here every once in a while.
Sure.
And now, usually, for those who have been on the show before, I know there's a lot of repeat offenders in the audience tonight. I do sort of like a open-ended trivia question where you have to give me the answer. But tonight we are doing multiple choice because, number one, it's all about Donald Duck. And number two, I didn't even know a lot of the answers to these questions, so I figured I'd give everybody a fighting chance, or at least a 1 in 4 chance. So the first question is, Donald Duck made his first appearance in what cartoon? Is it A, Plain Crazy, B, The Wise Little Hen, C, Mickey's Service Station, or D, Donald Gets Drafted? So if you guys are in the chat and you want to take a stab at it, just type in the letter of what you think the answer is based on those questions or those options, and I'll let you know if we're right. And then once we actually get some answers in there, then we will go ahead and give like a quick little background on the answer, and then we can talk to you, Sam, about maybe the history of that answer and if you knew it and what your thoughts are on it too. So
Okay.
I love it. Jerry says, "I know." Well, I said to give a letter, Jerry. Oh, there he goes. Okay, so Expedition Steve says C, and then Jerry says B. And Signs of Amusement, our friend Jason says C. So that's a few answers. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the correct answer. It is B, the Wise Little Hen. So that was the first appearance of Donald Duck, and I got a factoid to go along with that I will read. It says Donald Duck made his first appearance in The Wise Little Hen, a Silly Symphony cartoon. Did you ever watch those, Sam?
Oh, yes, many times. As a matter of fact, the first Disney show I did was Mickey's Bandstand.
Oh,
And
yes.
the second unit, I had to do we had someone who could cluck, and I had to do the, all
That's
that.
Clarabelle, not Clarabelle. What's the name of the hen that was from that? I know she has a name.
Yeah. Was it Henry?
It's not Henrietta, is it?
I was going to say Henrietta, but maybe I'm wrong.
It could be Henrietta.
Mhm.
So it was a Silly Symphony cartoon that premiered on June 9th, 1934. Wow, we're coming up on its anniversary pretty soon here, actually.
Yes, in 1934.
Yeah, he made an encore performance in the Mickey Mouse cartoon The Orphans Benefit on August 11th, 1934. Donald was an immediate hit with audiences who loved his fiery temper.
That's right.
And over the next decade, he became so popular that he even surpassed Mickey Mouse in the number of cartoons in which he appeared. Check that out.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Those who thought that Mickey was the top dog, not quite the case, is it?
Not at all.
Not at all. But that's okay. Donald's got to have his spotlight. Donald's 90 years old now, so he's had some fame.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
Oh, well, it's interesting because when I was on the Disney show and we were in New York, I had to do What's My Line, which is an old TV show. And, the duck was in the costume, the dwarf, and, he was the guest. And so they had a guess who was there. And somebody finally said Donald Duck, and it took about 3 or 4 questions. But I had to call Ducky Nash, Clarence Nash, and tell him I was doing the show. And so I was all excited. And I said, well, I'm doing Donald Duck for the Disney show. And he goes, oh, yeah, let me hear you duck. So I did the duck. And he goes, that's pretty good, which was flattering. And I said, well, how do you do yours? He said, it's pretty much your own thing. That's what I should have said, but it doesn't matter.
You actually got to have a chance to have a conversation with Ducky Nash, huh?
And he said, when you come back to Los Angeles, call me, and I wanted to see Ward Kimball about doing voices for Disney. He said, yeah, here's Ducky Nash's phone number. Call him.
Oh my goodness.
I was too shy to call him. I was just really shy about it. I
Oh.
don't know why. I'd already worked with, some big name actors and stuff at that time.
Mhm.
So I
But-
think Jerry is correcting us here. He's saying that
I
Donald's
thought
first cameo was C, which was I think that was what? Plain Crazy? Was that the one that I said was the letter C? Let me see. The letter C was, Mickey's Service Station. I guess that's where he made his first cameo appearance, but I guess his first debut cartoon where it was just about Donald was The Wise Little Hen. So,
but Mickey's Bandstand was right in that era too,
yeah,
Right
maybe
there.
it was after, or maybe it was after The Little Wise Hen or something. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Google searching that I don't have time for. It's only an hour-long show, Jerry.
Sorry about that.
That's a big idea.
Okay, let me talk to you about Donald's temper, because
Yes,
that is one
yes.
of his characteristics, his primary characteristics. He is known for being a hothead.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you anything like that at all, or are you more of like just a calm, go with the flow kind of a guy?
Well, I'm a calm flow of the go kind of guy, except when I'm mad at myself. I punish myself. I get really angry at me for doing
We are our own
making
harshest
mistakes.
critics.
Yeah, I'm
we
the
are
worst.
our own worst critics for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but for Donald Duck, he it was explained to me that he just takes, he just gets angry. Any little thing will tick him off. But if you notice, something has to happen to him. If he can't open a window, he gets angry because he has no patience. If the
Right.
nephews play a trick on him, he gets angry. There was actually a cartoon where he had to count to 10,
Uh-huh.
to calm down. And so that's how I looked at it, as something had to happen to him to be, angry. And so that gave me a motivation. So, the records and toys that I did, he was never angry in that respect. They kind of glossed over it in those days. They didn't do a cartoon when I did Donald Duck. They did records and toys and tapes and commercials, and we were a team. Peter Renaday was the voice of Mickey Mouse. Oh, and by the way, unfortunately, he passed last year, but he
Oh
was also,
no.
yes, he was also on the Ninja Turtles. He was Splinter. And
No kidding.
yeah. Here, where's my album? We did this album together with Tony Pope. I had him
Mhm.
sign it. He wanted to sign it for
There it
me.
is. Yeah.
And he was Mickey Mouse for like 20 years, and he used to record with Ducky Nash. And Ducky would say, "You sound exactly like Walt Disney."
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, how about
wow.
that? Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Highest praise.
he was very,
Seriously, I
very,
don't think it gets any higher than that in the Disney universe
yeah.
anyway.
I mean, if Clarence Nash is telling you you sound just like Walt, that's pretty much the high end there. Yeah. So,
Um,
yeah. And Tony,
Jerry,
go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, please go ahead.
Well, Tony Pope was the voice of Goofy, and he did
Okay.
it for 15 or 20 years, and I did it for over a 17-year period. And then in '87, they took everybody out: Mickey, Donald, Goofy, animators, everybody, and started fresh with new people. So anyway, that's another story.
Well,
But I had a great time when I was there.
speaking of new things, I mean, Jerry's got an interesting question. So if Disney were to update the old Donald Duck cartoons, which, I mean, I don't know why they would do that, but you never know. There's like remakes galore happening nowadays.
Sure.
And they wanted to voice him. Which episode would you like to bounce? He says. I'm not quite sure what bounce means.
Well,
Maybe tackle or take or just get rid of. I'm not sure what that means.
it says, which episode would you like to bounce?
To
In other
bounce.
words,
Yeah.
get rid of.
I guess so. Jerry, maybe you can clarify so we can get a
Yeah.
correct answer to that question. I mean, to
And
me, that
then-
makes it sound like bounce it like out of the wheel, out of the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't seem like a positive thing.
Right.
Oh, he said,
I'm
all right.
wondering if autocorrect.
Yeah, it's autocorrect. Yeah, or just, yeah, he says voice, not bounce. Jerry is very well known for his autocorrect issues. So I'm glad I asked. So which one would you like to voice if they happen to remake any of the cartoons?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the biggest challenges for me was doing or trying to imitate, because when I auditioned, you had to count to 10 and you had to sing. Now, Donald Duck's not just an angry dude. He has to be happy, sad, cry, sing, be jealous, be angry, all these emotions have to come into Donald Duck. And I'm sure that's why he was so popular, because he had all these different emotions. So if you had to do, I've been working on the railroad the way Clarence did it. It's a real tough nut to crack. It's hard to
Okay.
do it. It's like,
I've been working on the railroad all the day.
it's just,
Yeah.
yeah. And then there's another word when he's trying to keep his temper down, and they have a record where he has to count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And I had to imitate that, and so, and there's the other one where there's one that I thought was brilliant, which they actually used Ronald Coleman for this cartoon. And he walks down the street, and Daisy complains about his voice, so he gets a voice pill and he puts it in his mouth, and he
I
sounds like
remember
Ronald
that
Coleman.
one.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's Ronald Coleman. It actually is. 'Tis a far better thing I've done, and
Right.
and then the voice pills wear off. And
Uh-huh.
he's back to his duck and he can't find the guy with the voice pills. The other one was where he gets hit on the head and he sounds like Frank Sinatra. He becomes a crooner, and I guess they couldn't get Frank, but got somebody to, rule the rule, and all that crooning
Right,
stuff
right.
like Bing Crosby. But it was Frank. He was real thin and
Boo, boo, boo,
Yeah.
boo, boo. Yeah.
yeah. So, and then the women are screaming, and he's a big star, and the audience is going nuts. It's all, female ducks, and
And
Yeah.
then
Daisy feels that, she's lost him. And he
uh-huh.
comes walking down the street and gets hit on the head again. I think it's a brick, and he goes, he's back to Daisy, Donald Duck.
Oh.
Yeah. So Daisy takes him back,
I need to go back to Disney Plus and rewatch all those. Those are the cartoons that I grew up on a lot of cartoons.
Right.
And Warner Brothers was a pivotal moment in my lifetime because it was Saturday morning cartoons, right? That's
Right.
where all the Bugs Bunny stuff, Donald Duck and stuff. But there was also the Disney stuff. It was either before a Disney movie or they played one or several on the
Yeah.
wonderful world of Disney every Sunday night.
That's right.
And that became sort of like a thing to look forward to at the end of every weekend was the wonderful
Yeah.
world of Disney. And I loved watching the
Sure.
cartoons. And, sometimes it would be a film. Sometimes it would be like a documentary about like animals or something like that, always
Mhm.
hosted by Walt Disney.
Yeah.
And
Oops.
I need to go back and revisit those because those were some amazing cartoons.
Yeah, it really was. And he's got the nephews who plays tricks on him, and then he gets angry. So if
Yes.
he can't open a window, he gets frustrated. That's the
Right.
whole idea of it, trying to be about having a quick temper.
So speaking of Donald's family, I do have a trivia question related to that. And
Okay.
it's a little bit more difficult. I didn't know this one. I had to actually learn it as I was writing it. But the question is, what are the names of Donald Duck's parents? And a lot of these trivia questions have to do with a bunch of names of different characters. I don't know, like this one site that I found, that's all it was about. So Donald Duck's parents' names, option A is Della and Guido, B, Swandra and Bono. Because we're laughing at that, I'm going to say that it's not B, folks. C, Eloise and Quackmire, or D, Hortense and Quackmore.
Okay.
Which
Well,
one do you guys think it is?
well, we know Della is his. That's the aunt.
Della is his aunt. Okay, all right.
Yeah, Della is supposed to be with the three nephews. Della.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
She's
Della's
Donald's sister. Yeah.
Yeah, Della's sister. Donald's sister. So
Okay.
I don't think Swandra and Bono were
No.
were born at that time.
I mean, I can only imagine the think tank when they were thinking of like the wrong answers for this one, like did they pull it from real names, or was it just like, oh, this one sounds ridiculous, but maybe somebody will guess it. I don't know.
Well, Eloise and Quackmire. Well, Quackmire, I think, came up back in the 80s or 90s, that name. I don't remember him being in a cartoon before that. And Hortense and Quackmore, well, that sounds more like, his parents,
Okay.
I'm
guess.
guessing because I never met his parents.
Neither did I. I think a lot of these had to do with more of Donald's family through maybe even comic books or other television series, like maybe even like DuckTales or something like that too. I don't know, because I think was Donald in DuckTales as well.
Yeah, he'd make an appearance, but these are comic book
right
names because this comes from comic books, and
that was my guess too.
Yeah, that's what I feel. It would not be on a cartoon series. They would never show his parents, in a cartoon.
All right. So here are the guesses from our audience members. Steve says it's C. Jerry says C. Patricia says D. And actually, Sam, that's the one that you said that you thought was the right answer.
Yeah.
And the answer is correct. It's D. It's Hortense and Quackmore. So congratulations, you got it right.
Yeah.
And here is, oh boy. The fun little factoid I have about this is that Donald Duck's parents are Hortense McDuck, which Scrooge McDuck is his uncle, right? So that I guess it only makes sense that Hortense is I guess that's a Is that a woman? That's got to be the mom, right?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
Hortense was
that's
the mom, yeah.
The mom,
Mom,
right? So
Yeah.
Scrooge must be her brother.
yeah.
Brother,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And Quackmore Duck, of course. Donald's sister is Della Thelma Duck, which
Thank
we
you.
were just talking about, so you got that right.
Yeah.
And his nephews are Huey, Dewey, and Louie. According to some sources, Donna and Della are actually twins. Have you ever heard about that before?
No, I didn't know she had a twin. So this has to be from the comic books.
Possibly.
Yeah, yeah. Which
What about you? Thomas, have you ever heard that rumor that they might be twins?
Yeah, I was actually doing some brushing up on my Donald Duck history before the episode, and
Okay.
I read that they're twins. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean this was the first I've ever heard about it. I don't know of any other characters, at least from the Fab Five. You know, Donald, Mickey, Goofy, Pluto.
Yeah.
They
Right.
I never heard of any twins before. Although
Right.
didn't Mickey had twins? I think didn't he?
Twin. Yeah.
Yeah, he had
Not-
twins. Yeah,
He had
the-
twin boys, but he does
Boys.
not have a twin. Just to be
right.
clear
They
on that,
just
yeah.
they just appear out of nowhere. So
Yeah. So congratulations, Patricia. You got that one right. Steve, Jerry, sorry, the answer is D. So
right.
let's see. Jerry has another question for you. What type of albums did you record, music or storytelling?
I did music, which is Totally Mini, the album.
Totally Mini,
1987.
yeah, dude.
Totally Mini.
And
That was definitely 80s.
yeah. Oh, here. Let me pull this out. It comes with a Goofy as well.
That'd be a cool T-shirt.
This is the Mickey
Yeah.
Mouse audio animatronic talking Mickey Mouse doll.
Please tell me that's why is Mickey's pants falling down?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
This is a family show, Sam.
I'm so
Pull 'em up.
sorry.
So many jokes.
Well, it's hard. I have to tape them up, I guess. But this is Mickey, and there's a Goofy that you connect with a wire, which I have also.
Oh, do they talk to each other?
And they talk. Yeah, you have a cassette that goes in the back.
Yeah.
See the cassette,
Yep.
and it makes the mouth move and the eyes move, and they tell a story. And I did the obviously the one that goes with the when you buy it.
Yeah.
They start off with this Mickey's ghost stories or something. Which one was it? We did a bunch of these. Let's see. This was The Impossible Journey. So I believe that's one where they go to Australia, and I play the mailman in that one. And you have a book, and you could read along. I did
Yes.
another one. Oh, I have another one. Wait, let me get this toy for you. You'll love this. Hold
While
on.
You're looking,
Don't
you're
go
looking
away.
for the toy, I'm going to say that Jerry says it says Dell's was actually Donald's twin sister, but it's Della. Della. He corrected himself afterwards. So Della was the twin sister,
Yeah.
just like Luke and Leia.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Patricia says, now I want to see Donald's family tree. Yeah, that'd probably be a little
Oh,
crazy too.
I Googled it before the episode, and it was really, really interesting. And
Did
kind
you
of-
actually find like a family tree?
Yeah, just Google images. Yeah.
Sam, I had one of those.
Did you?
Yes, I
This is-
did. I
yeah.
absolutely had one of those. Did you
So-
voice one of the Donald on
We
that?
did all the Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, Peter, Renaday, Tony Pope, and I did all of these. This is
Wow.
Ghost Chasers, and you have this little mechanical recorder, and each page had a little disc on it, a little
Yeah.
record, and you'd put this on the record, and it would play, and it
Yes.
would tell you the story as you read along.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You are bringing back my childhood right now.
Yeah, I go way back. Hold on, I got something else here.
Not a problem. While you're looking for something else, everybody welcome Leia to the show. I'm glad you're able to make it at least halfway through, Leia. Good to see you.
Hi, I was so glad to come on. Hi, Sam. So nice to meet
Hi,
you.
how are you? Hi.
Good. I loved coming on seeing toys. That's the best thing ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did my share, and I was in a book called Mouse Tracks. And these are all the voice actors from 1955 to 1987. And so you have everybody in here from Paul Frees to just you name it, Lucy Taylor and just everybody, everybody that did everything. Let's see, who else was in here that I was trying to think of? I mean, guys you never heard of, Jack Halloran or Sterling Holloway. I'm sure you've heard of him. and
Yes,
all that
I've heard of the
stuff.
name. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the book, and
Oh.
let's see. Yeah, I'm in here somewhere. Oh, here he is, Tony Pope.
I could probably
Maybe.
sit in the room that you're at and just
Yeah.
for an entire day, just get lost in all of the stuff that you've got.
Oh yeah, absolutely. These are all the things I did.
And I love the Fisher Price one you were just showing earlier. I love that it's still in the box.
Yeah, I have one that's in perfect condition. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Dude.
there's Willio and Filio. Here I am. This is me. With my suit.
There you
on.
are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, thank you. Back in the day when I still had
Hi,
hair.
Patricia, too.
Yeah, Patricia spelled your name incorrectly, so now she says she corrected it and says Leia. Autocorrect spread from Jerry to me.
I liked it actually. It was the Star Wars version, so I liked. Yeah.
It was.
By the way, I'm late to the party, but Sam, were you the little quacker in Tom and Jerry?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that duck.
Bob, I love that mama, oh boy.
Little Quacker is the most adorable little duck in cartoon history.
Yeah. Here's the photo I autographed.
That's the one that I had. Yeah, that's the one that you signed for me.
Yes, absolutely. I'm the only actor that's done both, Donald Duck and Quacker. I'm the only one. How about that?
Wow.
Sam,
did I miss you doing Donald Duck? Have you done that yet?
Yes, I have. Would you like to hear it?
Only absolutely.
There you go.
That deserves another round of applause. Come on, let's see everybody. There we go.
And I can also do supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Are you ready?
Please do.
I gotta pump up for this. A little off key. Yay! A little off key, but I did it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Sam, I have a question. So, where in your mouth do you do Donald Duck, and how long did it, what was the process of learning how to do that?
Oh my God. I was a kid, and like all kids, I was imitating, Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, which I really loved. And I was about 13 and some kid could do Donald Duck. And I said, how do you do it? And he showed me and I started working on it as a kid. And then I was able to perfect it. And I had to learn to sing and make him angry and make him, sad and, give him a whole range of emotions, to make him bring him to life. That's what you do. Of course, Daffy Duck was the greatest cartoon character ever done. Let's not talk about him. So
we don't talk about Daffy.
Mel Blanc, he was amazing.
Yes.
Sam, did you do Donald Duck in Math Magic Land, or was that, I forget when that one came out?
No, I didn't do that one.
Okay, I used to watch that one all the time. I love that one.
Well, I did it from 1970 to 1987, and they would call me in, and we were a team. Peter and I and Tony Pope, and we did a commercial together for Gold Bond ice cream. It ran for like 3 or 4 years, and that's when Disney paid you. Disney didn't pay you. Gold Bond ice cream paid you.
Okay.
Really?
They were the sponsorship, huh?
Yeah. So there you have it.
Jerry put a little comment in here and said, by the way, the autograph that you sent him for the Relay for Life charity event that he and Andrew were at, actually, Andrew Nelson, our good friend Darth Vader, assisted in making $33,000 for charity that day.
Oh my God!
That was their total accumulated amount of money that they made for that. Now that is I looked it up really quick. Relay for Life is a charity cancer walk for celebrating survivors, recognizing caregivers, and taking action to build a future free of cancer. So I'm reading that directly from their website. So
Wow.
so happy that you were able to contribute something that led to that total. That's pretty amazing.
That's amazing. Oh my God. Thank you for telling me that. That's amazing. I also donate to the Ed Asner Family Center for Autism. He has 3 grandkids that have autism, and Ed Asner and I were friends for 50 years. And, I was doing the Bob Newhart show and, Family Ties and all that. And one day I'm sitting down with Ed, because that was the thing to be an actor. I just by accident, I became a duck. So, and I said, I always do comedy. I don't get to do drama. He says, oh, you want to be a jerk? I'll put you on Lou Grant. So I got to play a jerk on Lou Grant.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were a man who dreamt of being a duck, who dreamt of being an actor.
Yes. Yes. Well,
You're
I was
like an actor's inception of an inception.
Yeah, I was trained as for musical comedy, sing, dance, act. I mean, I danced in the movie Mame with Lucille Ball, and
Wow.
I did At Long Last Love with Madeline Kahn, Hello Dolly with Martha Ray. I see dead people, so that's what I
Madeline
work
Kahn.
with.
I'm sorry, you actually worked with Madeline Kahn.
She was a doll, and she was so nice to me. And should I tell you the story? She used to sit like she used to sit like she was in the dugout of the Dodgers, and I would go over to her and you'd say, look, Madeline, you're a star now. You really should cross your legs. And she just, and she took it like a sport, and she looks down and looks at me and goes, you're right. And she would cross her legs.
Okay.
So every time I caught her just, sitting like she's in the dugout, she'd go, oh, I'll do it. She would cross her legs.
She would cross her legs again.
No matter what. If
my
I gave her a dirty look, she knew.
Loved her.
It's just great to play. It was so fun to play with her.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I want to do one more. We're getting close to the end of the hour. We might go a little bit longer if you're okay with it, because Leah came late. There's a lot of stuff we can still cover, and we're having such a great time.
Yeah.
If you're good with it, then we can go just a little bit past the hour.
Sure.
Let me throw on one more trivia question here.
Okay.
And it is, in the 3 Caballeros,
Aha.
Donald co-stars with what 2 Latin American cartoon characters? Is it A, El Pato and Pascual? Is it B, Jose Carioca and Panchito? Or is it C, El Raton and Panfilo, I guess, Ganso? Or is it D, Batut and Aku Anka?
What the?
Excuse me, I have a cold.
I'm sorry. What continent is Abu Anka on?
I think it's a different planet. Actually, it's from a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, I see. So I know the answer, but you want
let's give the audience members a chance to guess. So we've got a few people in the chat lighting things up here.
Okay.
Signs of Amusement says B. Expedition Steve says B. Patricia says B. Jerry says B. Well, guess what, folks? I think you got it right. It is Jose Carioca and Panchito. So I got a little fun factoid on that as well.
Yep.
If I can find it here. You have to bear with me, folks, because I'm like switching back from the live stream over to my other webpage. And I've only got one monitor. Okay, so give me a break. I'm a little slow.
Okay.
Let's see. I know it's here somewhere. Okay, here we go. In the 3 Caballeros, Donald Duck co-stars with a South American parrot named Jose. Now, I think, fun fact, that same Jose is the Jose. It might be the same Jose that's in the Tiki Room in Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. That is at Disneyland and also in the Magic Kingdom, because that's the only parrots that I know that are named Jose in Disney.
Yeah. That's really cool. That ties in.
Yeah. Yeah. And Panchito, who is a Mexican charro rooster.
Yes.
That's the only fun facts that I got. And I know that they also appear on a ride in Epcot, I think. I forget the name of the ride itself, but those characters appear in a ride in Epcot as well.
Yeah.
Shame on me for not knowing that answer, but it's okay.
By the way, did I ever tell you that when we were in the Disney show and we were in tryouts in Kansas City, that Disney family showed up? and I was doing Donald Duck Live, and the producer, the executive producer, Mr. G, we call him because his name was Mr. Grillicus, and he was a great guy. And he's standing there with Roy Disney and
Oh.
the family. And he goes over to Roy and he says, "Oh, this is Sam. You know, he does Donald Duck Live for the show." He goes, and
Yeah.
he says, "Oh, I thought that was Ducky Nash." So he complimented me on that. So I was
Wow.
really flattered about that. That was something special.
That's phenomenal. And you got to meet Roy.
Oh, it
Yeah.
did, and the whole family there. They all came out and they were all excited, and
So
it was,
cool.
you know, it's now
Wow.
it's Disney on Ice. So
Yeah.
what can I tell you?
Yeah. I I have never been to a Disney on Ice before.
Yeah,
Never.
well, it's just like Disney on Parade, only cut down to the minimum, and a lot of skating.
And possibly some falling down. I
Yeah.
have seen some bloopers before.
Oh yeah, we fell down too. But this girl was supposed to jump into my arms, and she missed. And
Oh, no.
I go, "Oh no!"
That's horrible.
And she wouldn't get up.
Jerry says, "Yay, what did we win?" Jerry, you win another free visit to next week's episode of Main Gate Magic. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah.
Wow.
So
No
I'll
charge.
so let me tell you how I got the voice of Little Quacker for Tom and Jerry.
Please do.
25 years. Go ahead.
Oh, I'd love to hear.
Oh, okay. So 25 years after I did Donald Duck, I get a call, an email saying, you know, you still do a good duck. And I go, "Yeah, who are you?" He goes, I was the animation supervisor at Disney Studios, and you came into the Disney animation place and did the best Donald Duck I ever heard.
Wow.
And I said, "This is," so he said, "Go listen to it." And then we crossed email saying, "This is not much of a stretch for you, not much of a stretch for me." And then I got the job, but I had to go through the casting lady. When I got to the cast party, said, "Oh, so you always our first choice, but you know, we had to go through 3,000 voice actors for that one little quacker, for that little dog." There you go. There's some
Wow.
inside story for. So if you actually get a job, you've hit the lottery.
3,000?
Yeah, that's what I was told. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
About
I mean,
that.
I'm sure that a lot of those, they probably heard like one tone and they're like, "Nope, scratch it." Because you either know it or you don't, right?
That's right. That's right.
But
Exactly.
still, you got the golden ticket, man. Congratulations.
Yes, and not only that, he let me write some of the episodes. So, because he figured I knew more about ducks than anybody else. Then I also wrote other than ducks. I wrote other things about flamingos and stuff like that. And
That's cool.
Quacker Finds the Lucky Penny. That was a big hit. And then at the end, before they canceled us, I was writing about, you know, a ventriloquist who uses the dummy to get food. It's a cat who wants to get food, and the Quacker's involved and all that. So, but I did a lot.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I did a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Little Quacker, I have a picture in my head of him with a broken wing, and he's like telling somebody like how he broke his wing, and he's just rambling on and on and on and on and on. And he's like, wham, 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 wham.
Yeah,
Does that sound familiar?
Well, that was Red Coffee, the original
Okay.
voice, Red Coffee. And then when they did Yankee Doodle, it was Jimmy Weldon who did Yankee Doodle until the day he died. He did an amazing duck. You know,
Shabba. Oh, Shabba.
you know. So, I mean, I could have imitated Red Coffee, but I think, you know, every generation you kind of improve on the character, you know. But he had a great duck. He had a very unique. It didn't sound. It's the same quality as Donald, but he had an innocence, and that's what you had to capture: the innocence of the baby duck that was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, just came out of the shell.
Yeah,
I was gonna compliment that it's like Donald Duck, but it's like sounds completely different, but in the same realm. Like I'm really impressed with that as a voice actor. Like wow.
Yeah, you have to play the innocence. Tom is his friend, you know?
Yeah.
And we were in the booth one day and he says to me, you know, "Listen, Quacker has to sing a little song, you know, to get into the bird bath." He said, "But we don't want to pay any royalties, you know, we don't want to." So make something up. So I did.
Right.
I go,
I'm going swimming. I'm going swimming today.
perfect. Let's do it.
I love that. I
Yeah.
think I remember the quacker one I remember the most is when he's like, "I'm so ugly."
Yes.
Oh my
yes,
gosh,
we-
yes.
About that. Yeah.
We did one like that,
So
and
cute though.
yeah, for the updated version, and ugly was the hardest word I could do. It was just
Oh,
so
no
hard.
kidding.
And why? Because ugly has a guttural glock in
Yeah,
there, you know.
you have to reach further in the back of your mouth
Ugly.
with your tongue
Yeah.
to get that,
So
and your tongue is too busy in your cheek
Yeah, that makes
doing
sense.
quacker.
and I
So-
practiced and I practiced, and I had to break it up into 2 syllables, you know.
Oh, I'm so ugly.
And he goes,
Okay.
do it again, do it
Oh,
again.
wow.
Ugly. Ugly.
You know, you got to get that gut in there, you know.
You almost have to do like what ventriloquists do and get different
Yeah.
sounds from different, or the same sound from a different letter.
Mhm.
It's
And a
interesting.
different part of your mouth or your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
is so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, like they would give you a cartoon character and he had a big nose, so everybody talks like this, right? You know, but
Yeah.
maybe he has adenoids, or maybe it's in the back of his throat, like let me help you, you know.
Sound like Jimmy Stewart's Lost or something.
Yeah, or the guy on Taxi, you know.
Oh, Jim.
Yeah. So you're giving him,
News to me.
and it's a different take on somebody with a big nose, you know. And
Yeah.
sometimes they give you a character and there's no cartoon at all. There's no picture. You just have to run with it, you know.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
definitely.
yeah,
Okay, I got one more trivia question. Then I want to talk a few more minutes about your acting, like your live acting career. You had some other shows that you did, and you mentioned. I think you said you were on, like, what is it? Was it the Bob Newhart show? Was that one of the ones
yes,
you were on? That was
I
like your
love that
last
show.
one, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so hold that thought. We're gonna get back to it, but we're gonna do one
Yes.
more trivia question before we head
Okay.
over there. All right.
All right, sure.
So, from 1942 to 1940, this one's pretty easy. I mean,
Mhm.
most people who know Donald Duck and seen cartoons, they should know what this is. From 1942 to 1944, Walt Disney released 6 short films depicting Donald Duck's life in what branch of the U.S. Armed Service? Is it A, the Army, B, the Air Force, C, the Navy, or D, the Marines? Put your answers in the comment section, and we'll see who's got it right.
I know.
Patricia says C. Jason, Signs of Amusement, says C. I know we've got some other guessers out there. Come on, you guys have been great so far. Sam, do you have any guesses? You want to guess which
Yeah.
one it is?
Yeah, it's the Army.
It's the Army. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're going to spoil this one pretty quickly. Jerry got it right, though. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he got the Army right. It is definitely. Where's my thing here? I lost my thing. It's because I have the comment section still up.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, technology is difficult, isn't it? It is A, the Army. I had to put it up on the screen for it to be official.
Yeah, they did a lot of anti-war
Yep.
cartoons. Some of them were amazing, like the Fuhrer's Face, which was Spike Jones' hilarious take on the German Der Fuhrer. You know?
Yes. And I don't know if they mentioned that in this fun fact here, but I'm going to go ahead and read what's on this particular website. And you have to take it for face value because I don't know where they got their sources from, but I'm sure most of it's accurate. From 1942 to 1944, Walt Disney released 6 short films depicting Donald Duck's life in the U.S. Army. This series of films came to be known as the Army Shorts. This series of cartoons included in the series include Donald. It just includes, not all of them. Donald Gets Drafted from 1942. The Vanishing Private in 1942. This is kind of like going through the whole steps of war here, which is sad, but I know they're putting a fun spin on it. Sky Trooper in 1942, Fallout Fall In 1943, The Old Army Game in 1943, and Commando Duck in 1944. And of course, the Fuhrer one that you're mentioning as well.
Der Fuhrer's Face, yeah, Der Fuhrer, yeah.
Yes, Der Fuhrer's Face, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's the last
Right.
trivia question that I got here. So let's get back to the live stuff that you did before. Like, this is like pre-Donald Duck.
Well, it was during Donald Duck, actually.
It was during Donald Duck? I thought it was before.
No,
My
while I
bad.
was doing the voice of Donald Duck, I was doing on-camera commercials and pilots and TV shows. And I did a pilot called Hollywood High, where I co-starred opposite Annie Potts and Kim Langford. And
Hey.
yeah, we worked on it and worked on it, and it didn't go. But they kept Annie, and they didn't keep me. So,
Oh,
so you know what happened to her? She really hit it big. Meanwhile,
she is still doing stuff now. She is Meemaw in the Big
Young
Bang
Sheldon.
Theory set of
Yeah.
shows that she's still doing episodes now
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
and I'm back tap dancing in the back. So anyway.
But are you having fun, Sam? Are you enjoying
Yeah.
what you're doing?
I enjoy. I have a stand-up act, and I open with the fact that I'm currently the male stripper at the Jewish Home for the Aged.
Fun.
Yes, because it's a great job. You come back the next day, they think you're the new guy. So
Stay tuned after the show, folks, for the address of where you can actually get tickets for Sam's full review.
by the way, I'll be in Canada June 19th through the 23rd for
Canada?
Comic-Con. Yeah, Lethbridge, Canada, just an hour and a half west of Calgary.
I saw your Instagram post for just that very announcement.
Yeah, thank you. And then I'm in a play right now. We opened Friday night. It's called The High Priest, the Gangster, and the Magician. So
All right.
I play
Oh,
the
that
High
sounds
Priest.
fun.
Yeah. So one of my best lines is, "Fischl, what are you doing on the floor?" So
So awesome.
I love that line.
Love it.
So what other shows did you do during the time that you were being the voice of Donald Duck? We talked about the Bob Newhart show. What else have you done?
Well, Bob Newhart was Emmy nominated, and it turned out to be Bob's favorite episode.
Oh.
Every year they'd ask him, "What's your favorite episode?" And it was a Jackie story, the ventriloquist. I played a ventriloquist on the show, and I was a depressed ventriloquist who believed the dummy was real and wanted to leave the act.
Oh, I have to watch that.
So I
I
go
don't
to
remember
Bob.
that particular episode, but that sounds like a Bob Newhart episode.
Oh yeah. So I go to Bob, and I was going to be a semi-regular on the series. They had 12 scripts left. They were going to do put me in 6, and they were talking money and all this stuff. Remember, there's only 3 channels back then. So
Yes,
if you were
of
on
course.
TV, you're a star.
Right.
Well, the show ended. Bob quit. He thought his career would be in nightclubs and Vegas and all that. And then he realized once he got off of television, people forgot who he was.
Oh.
So he came back with Newhart. You'd think I would have had the brains to go and visit him. So stupid.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well.
Yeah, but he
Live and learn.
actually, he was so thrilled. He invited me to see his show in Vegas. So I went to see his show, and he's just a brilliant guy. We went backstage, and his wife was pregnant with her 4th child. And when I talked to him a few months before he passed, he said, "Oh, I have 3 grandchildren from that child."
Wow.
And he said, "Well,
Wow.
what have you done, Sam, all these years?" I said, "Well, when I was doing your show, I did Donald Duck." He goes, "Whoa!" And I go, "I'm a stand-up." I'm a stand-up. Whoa! And I said, when I start out in musicals and I dance in the movies and blah, on and on and on. And he was just, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" And I was like,
Right.
"You're Bob Newhart. I'm going to tell you my credits here." But
What's funny? We were
go
talking
ahead.
about Annie Potts earlier.
Yeah.
And, in the whole 6 degrees of separation, he is Professor Proton in the Big Bang Theory as well. And Annie Potts is Meemaw from, Young Sheldon. So there's like that tie with them kind of in the same universe, but not necessarily the same show. I had to throw it out there. That's my
they're both very talented. And,
Yes.
I'll tell you, when I was on the set and we were in dress rehearsal or something, Suzanne Plachette gives me a kiss on the cheek for good luck. And I'm a young idiot kid. And I go, "I have a girlfriend." And she says, "So what? I have a husband. He's right over there."
Oh.
And I was embarrassed. She just laughed. She thought that was so
I'm just going to give you an Ed McMahon. Yes.
Another cool thing about Bob Newhart is he was the voice of Bernard in The Rescuers.
Yes, The Rescuers.
Yes,
And then-
that's right.
and
Rescuers and the Rescuers Down Under.
I think Annie
Yeah.
Potts didn't.
Wait,
Annie Potts
yeah.
do Bo Peep. I think she did Bo Peep.
She
Yes,
did Bo Peep.
she did Bo
Yes.
Peep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, still does. For
Yeah.
me, she probably still could do it for the Toy Stories because she still has a young voice.
I think
Yeah.
they're doing another Toy Story. I'm sure she'll be in it.
They
I think I
are.
saw that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I don't know
Excited.
if it's in production or if it's just being written or what the status is, but
Yeah.
one of
Well, I have a
our
lot of-
other.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say one of our other friends, John Morris, who did the voice of Andy for all the Toy Story movies. I asked him when we had him on here, I'm like, do you think they'll call you back? Maybe Andy will make like sort of a guest appearance or maybe have a different voice as a Easter egg or something like that. He's like,
Yeah.
I haven't really been asked, but if they did, I couldn't tell you. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I hope they do.
I know.
Yeah, I'm up for a couple movies now, and I can't talk about it. Just
Oh my
can't.
gosh. Well, I hope we can talk about them
Oh,
again in
Sam,
the
that's
future.
exciting.
Yeah. So I did that. And Lucy would tell me stories. I was 23 on the set. We were there dancing in the movie Mame for a month, and I was the jumper and the leaper. So you had to have a strong dance background. We did double attitude turns in the dirt. So I don't know if you know what that is. And we had
Not
to
at
do
all.
big grand jetés around well, it's like an arabesque, and then you crick your leg in the back like that. And
Oh,
you
it's like
turn
an desk. Okay, I got
Yeah,
you. I still
yeah.
don't get it.
with a crooked leg. So yeah, the knee and the leg,
Bang.
they make a left turn there.
Gotcha.
So they were one guy short for jumping the hedges, so it was me.
Oh
Because
no.
I'm 23 and they're 40 years old. So
Yeah.
There you
and
go.
she would tell me stories, like I said, I like the Three Stooges, and she goes, "Oh, they almost killed me. Bad props." And
Oh,
she
no.
she talked about powdering her face, with a fine powder, and they turn on a fan, and she goes, and it goes up her
Oh.
nose, her mouth, and her throat, and her
Yikes.
ears, and her eyes,
Yeah.
and she relived it in front of me. And she was in
Oh
the
my
hospital for 3 days, and she was blinking like this for 2 weeks. It was sandpit.
Oh.
I mean, she was serious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do
The
you mean
other-
Dang.
Lucille Ball?
Yeah, Lucy. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So
that was
cool.
Lucy. And she told me a
I
story
love
about
her. too.
she had to have a cavity. She had a cavity, and they couldn't use silver, so they put lead in her tooth. Right.
Oh,
So she's driving.
What?
I thought she was driving to MGM, and she picks up, radio waves. Da 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 da. Morse code.
Oh, no, she did not.
Yeah, and as it gets louder, and through her tooth. I swear to God. And it gets louder and louder as she's getting close. I thought she was going to the studio, but there's different stories about it. Anyway, she
Yeah.
told it to my face, and she finally calls the police and all that, and they circle around this apartment building, and they find a nest of spies spying on MGM. How about that?
oh my goodness. That's a
And
behind the scenes story.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, she really relived it in front of me. So
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
very
Okay,
interesting.
Sam,
she
was
wasn't-
she like
I need to pick my
Natural
jaw up
comed-
off the ground
Sorry.
here. I think it's.
you could talk to her, but she was serious. She wasn't funny off stage.
I was
I mean,
just gonna
let's
ask if
face
she
it.
was a natural comedian. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what
She
I
was
heard
willing to
about-
do anything, and but she became the head of a studio, and
Yeah.
she had to take it seriously. It was business. And so
Mhm.
when I met her in 73, this was her retirement film. She was 61. I was 23, and they wouldn't let me anywhere near her on film.
Oh,
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I'd look like I was 10 and she'd look like she was 100. So, and
That's incredible.
she was not egotistical. She was just all about the work, She was an icon.
Well, then
So-
she must have had a passion for it too. I mean, because
Yeah.
whether you're on screen or off screen, you do what you love every day, right? I mean,
That's right. That's right.
I mean, whether she's like serious about it behind the camera or not, I mean, she's still doing what she loves, and I gotta admire her for that.
yeah.
Oh, definitely. She was wonderful. I wish I'd stayed in touch, but that was my big mistake.
You live with the moments that you had, and you cherish them. You don't.
Yeah,
You're spreading those stories to us who have never heard anything like this
Yeah.
before, and
yeah.
that's magic. I mean, that's the reason why we do the show. That is
Right.
the
It
reason why we
sounds
do
like
the
your
show.
interactions were really special. The ones that you
Yeah,
did
I
have
really-
with her.
I really loved what I did, and I still do. But the key here was schmoozing, you know. If you knew a comedian like Gary Shandling, and he kept asking me to come over to visit him, and I did for a while, and then I stopped. And I would have been on his shows had I continued my friendship with him.
I liked
So,
Gary Shandling too.
yeah,
That was
he
like a
was
guilty pleasure. Yeah.
such a wonderful guy. He really
Yeah.
was very nice, and brilliant comedy writer.
A couple other people had joined the show. My sister-in-law, Leanne, is in here as well, so I wanted to give her props. She said, "Hey, I got the answer right for the Army," so I wanted to say hi to Leanne. And her son Alex, my nephew, he's in as well, and he says, "You're my grandpa's favorite character." Now, and unfortunately, his grandpa's not around. That's my father-in-law.
Oh.
He passed within I think it was 2 years ago. It's
Oh,
been a long time. But yeah, Donald Duck was his icon. We still actually, on our Disney Plus profile, we used to share our password with it. Don't tell Disney. And his little icon was Donald Duck. So yeah, he's being 100% honest with that. Donald Duck was definitely they used to call him Popeye, and the Donald Duck was his icon. So
wonderful. Oh,
because
that's
he was in the Navy. Yeah. So, and I think Donald in the Navy too at one point.
Well, he had the sailor suit on,
Right.
and no pants. But yeah, so I'm sure he was in the Navy. So.
Right. And that's what Jason was saying in a comment earlier. Sorry I didn't get to you earlier, buddy, but he says, but he's a sailor in reference to the answer about the Army. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. So.
Back then, during the draft, they would originally draft you in the Army because they wanted a big Army. So I guess it makes sense. But yeah, he should have been he was in the Navy. I think they had several cartoons where he's on a battleship or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're a little past the hour, but I think we can actually safely wrap it up here because, Sam, you have given us a lot of your wonderful stories, a lot of the magic that you had in your life, and I'm so grateful that you were here to share it with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Did you want to give any final plugs before we depart ways here and just maybe re-mention about the Canadian show and any other shows that you want to talk about or anything that you want to do to highlight yourself?
Yeah, June 19th through the 20th. Well, I travel on the 19th. So the 20th to the 22nd, I'll be in Lethbridge, Canada, just outside of Calgary. And you can go to my website, it's 3 W's, www.samkay3000.com.
All right.
And you can enjoy that. And I'm opening in a play here on Friday at the Fringe Festival, the high priest, the gangster, and the magician. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Sam, you're also on Instagram, you're on TikTok, and I think you're on Facebook as well, right?
Definitely Facebook. Yeah. All over.
Everybody check out Sam. I actually tagged you in the promo video that you recorded for me for this show. So thanks for doing that as well. That was a lot of fun putting together and editing and everything. So if you guys want to know where to actually find his link, you can actually see it in the video that I posted from Main Gate Magic on all the spots that we have: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. All right.
Yeah. Thank you. That was a great promo too.
Wonderful show. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to put together, and I appreciate you doing that. So you have a wonderful evening, and if you ever are in the mood, I'd love to have you back again, just for the stories and maybe just for random discussions about Disney stuff.
Sure.
I never even got to ask if you ever go to the Disney parks or if you have any history with the Disney parks. So we could make a whole episode about that. That would be so much fun. So if you're interested, I'd love to have you back someday.
Sure, anytime. You just call me. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thomas and Leah, of course, thank you guys for being here. Yes, everybody, wonderful job. Thank you to all of our wonderful people in the audience. This show would not be anything without you guys. So thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of the trivia. Thank you for asking questions. And just thank you for making this show possible. So until next time, we will see you guys next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. If you want to suggest a show topic, I don't think I have any special guests next Tuesday. So tell us what you want to see. Main Gate Magic on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. We will see you guys next week. Love you all. Take care. Goodbye. Thank you for tuning in to another fun-filled episode of Main Gate Magic. We hope you enjoyed the show. It's been our pleasure bringing a little Disney magic into your life. Please remain seated while the show comes to a complete stop, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast at all times. For more information about upcoming episodes, please make sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. You are now free to exit the show. Please watch your step, and be sure to tune in next week for more Main Gate Magic. Bye-bye.